today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look. I'm just going to start off by saying quickly I have hiccups, so this voiceover might not go very well. Anyway, it's a really like romantic girly look with cranberry eyes and then like a berry lip as well. Usually I don't do this. I usually would go for a nude lip, but I decided to switch things up, so I hope you like it. I'm going to go ahead and get started with priming my eyelids. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer, and I love priming my eyelids with it. I'm going to take this Wet n Wild eyeshadow in the shade Brûlée. It's just like a cream color, and I'm going to use this to set my concealer. I'm going to add a tape to the side of my eye to create like a cat eye. And then I'm going to take this eyeshadow right here called Bella Cappuccino, and this is my transition shade, so I do have to pack this color on quite a bit because it's not super pigmented. So I'm going back and forth into that eyeshadow and just deepening up my crease a bit. This is the transition shade. I think I already said that. I'm going to take this baked eyeshadow from e.l.f. and it is called Burnt Plum. It is a baked eyeshadow, so it is better to use it wet. So I'm going to take MAC Fix Plus and spray my brush. MAC Fix Plus is not drugstore, but you can just use eye drops at home. And I'm just going to pack that color on my lid one more time, and this is just going to intensify the look a lot more. I'm going to take that up to my crease, and then I'm going to take this brush from Real Techniques. It's the same one we use to apply the Brûlée shade, and I'm just going to blend out some harsh edges. I'm going to take a fluffy crease brush. This is from Morphe, and I'm going to dip it back into Burnt Plum without any water. I'm not wetting the brush or anything, just to soften up the crease a little bit more. This is an eyeshadow by Loreal. It's a beautiful color. It's called Glistening Garnet, and this is what made me want to do this tutorial because it's such a pretty berry, but it has like pinky undertones. It's really pretty. If you hear Porter running behind me, his collar has a little bell and it makes noise. Yeah. So I'm just packing that on to my entire lid. I also wet the brush a little bit with this shade. You don't need to, but I just wanted to intensify it just a little bit more. Then I'm going to dip my brush into this eyeshadow called Bella Taupe, and this is an e.l.f. brush, and I'm just applying it to the outer V of my eye and into my crease a bit just to make it a little bit more like chocolatey. And then I'm going to take a clean blending brush and blend out the edges. This is a black eyeshadow from Wet n Wild called Panther. It is a super black eyeshadow, so I'm using a very light hand with that same e.l.f. brush, and I'm just going to pack some of it to the outer V. I'm going to deepen it up later, but just adding a little bit of that black to the outer V of my eye to deepen things up. I'm going to go back into Brûlée and add this underneath my brow bone. This is just going to help things like look a little bit more blended and a little bit nicer. I'm going to take this Nyc Liquid Eyeliner. This is my favorite liquid eyeliner in the history of the world because it is super black and super matte. When it comes to a brush tip, this one is the best. So I'm adding a wing, not too thin, not like non-existent, but not thick either. Does that make sense? You could do whatever you want. Don't do a wing, do a wing. The world is your oyster, my friend. So I'm going to finish up my face. Well, I'm going to start my face before I finish up my eyes. As you can see, I'm watching my homegirl back there on YouTube as I got ready. But anyway, this is my Maybelline Baby Skin Primer, and I just put it on the areas where my pores are a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to take this foundation from Rimmel. It's the Rimmel Stay Matte Foundation. This is the shade True Ivory, I believe. I will have my shade down below. So I'm using this with a Zoeva brush, and I am just packing this on and buffing it into my skin. Then I'm going to take that concealer I used to prime my eyelids, and I'm going to take a little bit of it on the inner part of my eye and right where my dark circles are more visible, because this is kind of like a pinky shade, a little bit of a salmon-y undertone. This is in the shade Natural, and I'm just going to blend that in a little bit to cover up my dark circles. Then I'm going to be taking this Rimmel Match Perfection 2-in-1. It's a highlight and a concealer all in one. So I'm using this mainly to highlight my face. It's going to cover up my dark circles just a little bit, but I'm using it mainly to highlight. So I'm highlighting in all those places, you know, my forehead, my nose, all that good stuff. And then for some reason I decided to blend that all in with that same Real Techniques brush I used earlier, but don't know why, but that's what I did. So I'm just blending that out. I'm going to set it with the same powder I always use. It's my favorite drugstore one for underneath the eyes. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Powder in 135. I love it because it's kind of like light reflecting. It has like a little hint of shimmer. It's amazing. I'm going to take this eyeshadow to contour. I know that's really weird, but that's what I'm doing. This is called Bella Cafe, and it has like a kind of like a gray undertone. Not gray, but it's a cool toned brown, so that's why I'm using it to contour. This brush is actually a brush I got in Benefit's Hoola bronzer, and this is a pretty good dupe for the NARS Ita brush. If you don't want to pay $60, because I refuse to pay that much for one brush, then if you have Hoola and you haven't thrown away this brush, oh, fix that hair, girl. If you haven't thrown away this brush, you can use it to contour. It gets like a really sharp chiseled contour. So anyway, I'm using this eyeshadow and I'm blending it out, and it blends really nicely. I love this eyeshadow to contour. Anyway, I don't know who I'm talking to or if I'm singing. I have no idea. Anyway, so I'm going to take this Jane bronzer in the shade Inspire. This is very like warm. It's like a nice warm bronzer. So I'm using this on my e.l.f. complexion brush to kind of warm up my face. I went very, very soft on the face. I didn't want to do too much, so I did just a tiny bit of contouring and then warming up the skin. This is one of my favorite blushes from NYX. It's called Mauve, and it's beautiful. It goes with pretty much any makeup look, so I'm adding very little of this to my cheeks. I didn't want to do too much because I'm doing bold lips and bold eyes kind of, so I'm just adding very little. This is a Coastal Scents stippling brush, and then I'm going to use e.l.f.'s Pinktastic. I went a little crazy right there, so I'm blending it out. This is a blush from e.l.f., but it's definitely a highlight in the shade Pinktastic. I don't know if I already said that, probably. But yeah, I'm highlighting, and then I put too much on my nose, and I was like, whoa girl, settle down. Settle down, blend that in. And then I'm going to finish up my eyes. I'm going to take more of that black eyeshadow in the shade Panther from Wet n Wild, and I'm going to deepen out the outer V just a little bit more. Then I'm going to add some mascara. Oh no, just kidding, I'm not. This is the LA Girls Endless Eyeliner in the shade Violet, and I'm going to start putting this on my waterline and a little bit lower, but I'm not going to take it past my pupil. I'm just taking it in halfway. Then I'm going to dip a pencil brush into Bella Mocha from Milani, and I'm going to blend that. I'm going to highlight underneath my brow bone with this Crown Brushes brush that I got in my Ipsy bag, and I'm going to dip it into e.l.f.'s Baked Highlighter in Pinktastic, and I'm going to highlight both my brow bone and my inner corners with this highlight. Now I'm going to put on mascara. This is the Revlon Bold Laquer Grow Luscious or something like that, Bold Lacquer Mascara, and I'm just plopping that on. Then I'm going to take this lip liner from Colourpop in the shade Lumiere, and I'm going to apply this to my entire lips and fill in my lips as well. This actually looks really pretty with Lumiere lipstick, like this look, just plain old Lumiere. But I decided to take it to the next level. This is Tutu from Colourpop. It's a lipstick from Colourpop called Tutu, and it's very pigmented, so what I'm doing is stamping it onto my lips, because as you can see in the tube, it's a very dark lipstick, but I wanted just like a hint of that color. So I'm just stippling onto my lips to get a little bit of color payoff, not too much, and then that completes this look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, bye!